Okay everyone, today's lesson we're going to be looking at parallel lines and transversals. First thing we're going to look at is the corresponding angles postulate. So a postulate is basically a statement that we just accept that without any proof. So it's a given. So the corresponding angle postulate says if two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then the pair of corresponding angles are congruent. Congruent meaning they're the same thing, they're equal. So in this diagram here we can see here's the two parallel lines. Here's the transversal cut through the two parallel lines, and angles 1 and angles 2 are corresponding angles. If you see they're on top of the parallel line and to the right of the transversal. So if angle 1 is 120 degrees, then angle 2 is also 120 degrees. Right, moving on, we're going to look at the alternate interior angles theorem, which states if two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then the pairs of alternate interior angles are congruent. As we can see here, parallel lines cut by the transversal, angle 3 is inside or interior, inside the parallel line, as is angle 4, they're inside these parallel lines, and they're alternate, they're on alternate sides of the transversal. This one's on the right side, this one's on the left side, so they're alternate interior angles. So if angle 3 is 45 degrees, angle 4 is also 45 degrees. Those angles are also congruent, or the same. The next theorem we're going to look at is consecutive interior angles theorem, and that states that if two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then the pairs of consecutive interior angles are supplementary. What that means is, if you see angle 5 and angle 6, they're on a straight line equals 180 degrees. So a supplementary angles would both add together to make 180 degrees. So we can see here that angle 5, if angle 5 is 80 degrees, then angle 6 must be 100 degrees. 80 plus 100, 180 degrees. The next theorem is the alternate exterior angles theorem. So if two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then the pairs of alternate exterior angles are congruent. As we can see here, angle 7 and angle 8 are exterior of the parallel lines. They're outside the parallel lines. If they wanted to, they could fly away. They're not trapped inside the two parallel lines. Okay, and again we can see that they are alternate. Angle 7 on the left side of the transversal, angle 8 on the right side of the transversal. So if angle 7 is 50 degrees, then angle 8 is also 50 degrees. They're both the same, they're both congruent. Alright, let's have some practice of these problems. As we can see, we've got the parallel lines cut by a transversal, and we're given the measure of angle 4. So angle 4 has a measure of 45 degrees. What you need to answer is, what is the measure of angle 5? If you got 49 degrees, then you'd be correct. They're congruent because they are alternate interior angles. The next problem, let's look at angle 5. Angle 5 has a measure of 50 degrees. So what are the measures of angle 6, angle 1 and angle 8? As we can see, if number 5 is 50 degrees and number 6, they're both on the same line, they're supplementary to each other, so they must add up to 180 degrees. So if angle 5 is 50 degrees, then angle 6 must be 130 degrees. 50 plus 130, 180. Okay. We can also see that angle 6, which we just said is 130 degrees, is also on a straight line and is supplementary with angle 8. So if angle 6 is 130 degrees, angle 8 must be 50 degrees. Now to work out what angle 1 is, we can say because angle 8 is 50 degrees and it is an alternate exterior angle to angle 1, then angle 1 must also be 50 degrees. Right, for the final practice, if we can see we're given angle 2's measure. If angle 2 has a measure of 130 degrees, what are the measures of angle 1, angle 3, angle 5, angle 4, angle 5, angle 6, angle 7, and angle 8? So not only do I want you to put the measure of the angles down, but next to each one, I want you to state or tell us what the postulate or theorem is that you used. So first of all, if we used angle 2 with angle 1, we would use the supplementary. Okay, so have fun and work those out.